Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Eternal Evolution, and for today's video we're going to talk about how to gear your summoner heroes. Now there's a couple champions that also do summons in one way or another that are not considered summoner class, so we're going to talk about that as well. But we're going to showcase some of the different champions kind of in order from best to worst, a little bit at least, and talk about the best gear for them. There's some differences in their kits, so it's not just as cut and dry as build with damage or build with support. So let's get to it. First off, we have Skewer and Hattie, right? The twins. If you guys hear people talk about the twins, well, pretty obvious here. Why? Super cool animations too. Gotta let that play out, right? And there we have it. When it comes to gearing them, you're really going to want to focus attack. You'll notice here in the ultimate, it has 100% of Skewer and Hattie's... Oh, sorry. Hattie, the clone, has 100% of Skewer's attack and defense and HP equal to 4,000% of Skewer's attack. So because this is so attack focused, that's what you're going to be wanting to be looking for stats. It should also be important to note that once you get them to EX 30, they do have a ton of extra attack percentage added to their kit, 40%. And along with the other boosts to the skills, it does allow you to build them a little bit differently. You can actually go ahead and build them with some other like crit damage, crit rate, and whatnot if you have them at EX 30. But if not, you kind of just want to focus the basic attack and attack percentage stats instead. Overall, you're looking for attack percentage and HP, but then yeah, try to get that tip. Once you get the EX 30 and you could really pump up those stats, try to get that crit rate, crit damage up as well. You know, like 50% crit rate seems to be enough, as well as like 100 to 250 extra crit damage. 250 total crit damage in the end is okay, but really because of their focus on like their ultimate here and how the twins kind of work together, you really just want to focus attack unless you're kind of maxed out super end game when it comes to building these characters. So you're looking for a full attack set, the hero set ideally on them. Now we have Senway as well. They summon a clone as well. They're super fun. I love this character. I kind of use as a tank a little bit, honestly, in some of my like PvE content. But they summon a shadow at its target location. So it's super fun. The shadow has a crit rate, extra crit rate, 30%. Let's see, it's 15% crit damage and 500 attack speed bonus. So this is a little bit of a quirky kit here too. When it comes to building Senway, you're just going to focus attack and HP. Don't worry too much about actual crit damage on this character. Even though it sounds like you might be able to pump out some damage, it's really not the best endgame for that. You kind of just want to focus survivability and basic attack stats. Of course, attack percentage, I mean, as well. So when you're looking for sets on this character, you're going to go for the attack set, hero set, and then the HP percentage set as well. You can go 2 attack and 1 HP, or 2 HP and 1 attack, depending on your survivability. Along with that, you're going to be looking for that like 2 million total HP and about 55,000 plus total attack. Of course, we are talking, when we're talking about these totals, we're talking a little bit more end game. We're talking getting them higher levels, at least in immortal range, and that's kind of your end game goal, at least for building them solid, but at least you know what to prioritize. Still hanging out over here, we also have Muka. Muka and Senway are kind of the meh. I mean, they're a little bit lower tier, but I wanted to talk about them before we talk about someone else who's probably a little bit better, because they are actually still classed as a summoner here. So Muka as well, he summons, let's see, and he also has this enters a blood wolf status. I love that. Where is it? Summons a feral wolf. I couldn't remember the term. Feral wolf with 45% of their attack, defense, and HP to fight along their side. Now, Muka can actually do some decent damage, and he's probably best to build like your assassins and other damage dealers. You're going to be looking for that like 5,500 or 55,000 plus attack, 50+% crit rate, and then up to 50% crit damage ultimately for your total stats. When it comes to the gear, you're going to be looking for an attack percentage set along with the crit rate set and a crit damage set. Same thing, kind of keep in mind like the building a Randall or someone as well. He's just going to be a pretty typical melee character. He's going to fulfill that role decently as well, but he's definitely not top tier. If you get lucky and you get the twins and you start building them up, they're going to excel beyond all of these other characters, of course, as well. I mean, just given the SS category, of course, that's kind of expected. Now, I do want to head over to Terran here and talk about Kalaza. They are not classed as a summoner. As you can see here, they're a hunter category, but they do have a skill here where they summon a doppelganger. And because of this skill, it's really confusing because, okay, he's classed as a hunter, but he summons a doppelganger. He does work with the commander that's made for summoners. So that's a little bit confusing, honestly, in the end. I'm not sure why some of them work, some of them don't. It kind of doesn't make sense, to be honest. But when we're talking about Kalaza, I did already talk about him during my other hunters video, so make sure you check that out as well. But briefly here, Kalaza can be used in that role. You're going to be looking for, just like Muka, 1 attack per set, 1 crit rate set, 1 crit damage set, focusing on the goals of 60% crit rate, 250% total crit damage, and 55,000, 60 or higher attack total for him as well. But he does actually work with let me show you guys something. He does work with the commander, which I found interesting because this is what I did. So I took these guys out, right? So let's see. We have an obvious, okay, he's definitely a summoner, right? Let's throw in Randall. Randall also summons a shadow, right? So is Randall classed as a summoner? This is what I found kind of weird. So let's find Kalaza. All right, so we have Kalaza, we have Senway, we have Randall, right? Now let's take a look, at our commanders. So there's a specific commander made for summoners. So this one will boost summoners gain 35% attack and 8% lifesteal for 8 seconds. So he's got this special kit. But look at, Randall does not get affected by this summoner commander, right? You don't see it above Randall's head. But we do see it above Kalaza's. Why? I don't know. Kalaza's not actually classed as a summoner either. So I'm not sure if this is an error, a visual error. Let me know in the comments below. If this is wrong, please do let me know. But it does show as if this commander is affecting Kalaza. And even though Kalaza is not technically classed as a summoner, it looks like you can use him with this commander. So that's just something I wanted to point out when we're talking about our summoners. But I know a lot of people will use Randall in Ancient Altar along with the Summoner boss as well. I do think that Shadow does kind of help in that situation too for Ancient Altar. But overall, Randall's not considered a summoner for sake of stats and whatnot for this game here. But that leaves us, I mean, that's kind of it, though. That's the summoners right now. There's not too many in the game, but they're an interesting bunch, and I'm sure there's going to add more. They're going to add more in the future. Right? I mean, the Sunway was our newest addition. Skewer and Hattie are a newer legendary triple S champion added to this game as well. So I think they're doing a good job adding a variety of characters, with one exception. Oh my gosh. Way too many energy champions. This is like a stacked category with champions. I'm not sure why there's so many energy champions, but that's another conversation. But for now, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this helped you for building your summoners, and I'll see you in the next video.